keep doing this at the beginning of videos, but I still seem to be doing it. I'm just having a dance. How are you all doing? I hope you're well. Welcome back if you've been here before. If you haven't, hello, and I hope that you'll come back after this video, because it's madness. It's madness right here. A couple of weeks ago I put out, I don't know when this video is going up, so I put out a poll saying excuse me, hair care, skincare, and it was 50-50. So I know that people have been asking for a skincare one, so I've already filmed that one. So yes, you have seen this look. I just changed jewellery. But I'd also been asked to do a hair care one. So because I have, in the last few weeks, you'll have seen my hair journey from when my hair was really long to where I cut it short to where I am now. So I kind of want to take you on, not a hair care journey, but just the products I've been using really, especially in this heat that we've been having, to keep my hair nice, and what I do, how it gets so shiny, that kind of thing. So, if, I've got to stop saying so all the time, but I will, because it's me and that's my thing. If you see this before my skincare video, you will hear me say that I do not have a particular skincare routine. Guess what? I don't have... What? Come here. Come here. What are you whinging about? She's trying to get in on the act, I'm sorry. Yeah, you will hear me say that I don't have, or will have heard me say, depending when this goes up, that I don't have a particular skincare routine. I don't particularly have a hair care routine either, but I will tell you what products I use, when I use them, etc. So in general, I'm probably really bad at looking after my hair, because again, like I said, I will put my skincare one up first, because otherwise this one won't make sense. In my skincare one, you will have heard me say that the beauty industry is an industry that's making you buy things because they say you need them. And I am a believer of, you only use the products if you actually need them, not because someone is telling you that you need to use them. And in that vein, there are a lot of hair care products out there that I do not use. And I've had many hairdressers over the years tell me I'm wrong, that I should be using it, and my answer is, prove it. So let me explain what I mean. If I'm styling my hair, and we're going to start with that first. Should we start with that first, or should we start with general care? Let's go through from all. So general care, washing and drying. I wash my hair probably 3 times a week. During the heat wave, I have washed it more, but I've not always used products. I've literally just got it wet to cool my body down and then left it alone. So I'm not putting shampoo or conditioner through it. During normal showering, 2 to 3 times a week, I will wash my hair, again dependent on the state it is in. If it has been exceptionally hot and I've sweated overnight, then obviously I want to wash my hair in the morning. Although last night I sweated all night, and by the time I woke up at about 3 o'clock my hair felt awful, and by the time I got out of bed at 7 it felt awful, and then I went back to sleep for a bit, and when I got up at 10 it had dried, and actually it didn't feel too bad. So rather than wash my hair again, bearing in mind I washed it the day before, or at least the day before filming this, I didn't really want to wash it again, knowing that I'm going to work tomorrow, so I'm going to have to wash it before I go to work. I try not to wash it too often. Obviously everyone's hair is different. If you have got your hair into a routine where you can wash it once a week, I wish, you know, great, that's great. If you have to wash your hair every day for whatever reason, then, you know, that's not a bad thing either. The only thing I would say is if your hair is prone to being greasy, then whatever product you are using is stripping your natural oils to the point where it's then overproducing the oils it needs to survive and be healthy. So I would just look at what products you are using and make sure you're using the right ones. If your hair is greasy and you're using a moisturising shampoo, then I would stop using a moisturising shampoo because you're putting too much through the hair. If you are using an anti-dandruff shampoo all the time, then you might actually want to intersperse that with a moisture shampoo, because anti-dandruff shampoos can be very stripping of the oils, and that's probably why your hair might be overproducing. So just have a look at your product and just make sure that you are using the right ones. So if you do suffer with greasy hair, the products you're using are designed to strip away those oils and make your hair feel clean, but it's also stripping away everything out of the hair that needs to keep it healthy. So your body will overcompensate even more and probably make it feel greasier quicker, if that makes sense. So if you are using those types of products, maybe cut back, maybe, you know, once a week use a moisturising one instead, and just see if that helps with your hair kind of balance itself out again. It's a tricky thing because scalps and hair, and you know, people who do suffer with dandruff and psoriasis and all sorts on their scalps, and I'm quite lucky. I tend not to suffer in that way. If you are suffering anyway like that, make sure you have spoken to a GP. Make sure if you need a medicated shampoo, you are using the right one and for the right reasons in the right way. That is not something I can assist on, but I can tell you what I use for mine. So I have two types of products that I use. I have your good old shampoo and conditioner, and I have shampoo and conditioner. So I'm going to talk through both types of products and why I use them and when I use them and what the differences are for me. Now obviously my hair bars are far more environmentally friendly. They are all from Lush. They last forever, but sometimes they're just not convenient. They can be a bit of a faff. They can be, because I have to take them and put them into individual tins or containers, it can be hard for me to sometimes open the containers. I've tried the little round ones from Lush. I can't open them. So it depends on what my hands are doing, speed, all that kind of thing, as to what I'm using. In general, I like to use the bars over other products, but these have been great for my hair recently. So I'll talk about these first. These are the Body Shop Fuji green tea shampoo and conditioner, and they're really good. They are basically for normal hair. I don't find that they strip the colour. Even using the fashion colours, I don't find that they really strip it. Obviously most shampoos are going to strip fashion colour out of the hair, but in general they are pretty good products. Now the reason I'm not going to talk about these very much is because the lady that I deal Body Shop with has told me they've stopped doing this one, which is kind of annoying, but then kind of good because plastic. Now these are recyclable bottles. You can take them back to Body Shop and have them recycled, or you can just pop them in your recycling, so that's really good. But yeah, plastic. They do make me feel like I've cleaned my hair. So if I'm having a day where I've been really, really hot, especially during the heat wave and last year's heat wave, these have been great because I do feel like when I rinse them out, I feel like I've rinsed out the product fully, and I don't feel like there's any residue in my hair. Obviously with short hair I don't need quite as much product, but even when my hair was long, I started using these during the heat, and they were absolutely brilliant. So I do love those. I'm using them quite sparingly at the moment because, like I said, I can't get hold of them anymore. Maybe if I see a body shop and they've got one in there, I may buy another shampoo. But in general, they are purely for needing my hair to feel very, very clean and like I've got all the rubbish out of it, if that makes sense. In general, I much prefer my bars. Now I'm showing you in a pot. It is a Lush pot because this is how I store them. So I buy them from the shop, I buy them in bags, and then I pop them in these little pots. Oh, I've only got 2 of that one left. Ooh. So this one is Jason and the Argan Oil, I believe, and it is quite a nourishing shampoo. Very easy to use. Literally wet your hair, get it in your hand. They say get it in your hand and lather it up and then lather it into the hair. What I find to do is get the bar and literally just almost like stripe it across my head in a few areas and then massage it into the hair. I don't find that soaping it into my hands and then putting it in my hair works for me. But that Jason the Argan Oil one is brilliant. When I took this on holiday, when did we go on holiday? September 19, maybe? Is that when we went to Malaga? And when we went to Tenerife earlier in 2019, I took these with me and they were a godsend. Because of the heat and everything else, they really did make my hair feel very nourished. But again, I can sometimes feel that they make the hair a little bit heavy, that they don't fully wash out, which can be a bit of a problem. But I do love that one. It smells amazing. I can't tell you what's in it because I don't have packaging, and everything's on my phone, which is what I'm filming on, because I'm organised, and now I can't even open the pot again. That's pointless, isn't it? So I have that one. Again, I love it. I do find, or I do wish that the bars would stay more solid than they do. They tend to get quite squishy the more they get wet, and you find you can kind of pat them into your hand and misshape them, and then I end up putting 2 together, and then you get hairs trapped in them, and I wish they stayed a little bit more solid. But in general, I do love that hair bar. I also have this one, which again, because I buy them in paper, I then stack them into flavours. Oh, I love this one. This is and they are the same even though they don't look the same. This is the Honey I Washed My Hair, and it is a honey based one. Again, very cleansing, very feels clean after I've washed my hair. Not quite so good for the fashion colours. It does tend to strip them out. The other soap bar does as well. But yeah, these ones are great. These tend to stay a little bit firmer during use than the Jason and the Argan Oil ones. Lasting probably, I could probably get a good 2.5 to 3 months out of one bar. So they can be a little bit expensive, but they do work. And again, it's the environmentally friendly. I can literally take my pot into the shop and go, I'm filling up with 4 of these, and I go, okay, no problem. So I can take my pots in and refill them. I don't necessarily, again, have to have more packaging. And the girls in the shop are really, really fine with that with me. They don't mind at all. Conditioner wise, again, if I'm not using that one, I have this one. Now, when I was buying bottled products from Lush, they brought out one called American Cream, and it smelt of strawberry milkshake, and it was lovely until they brought out the conditioner bar. Now, I have tried with Lush Jungle, is it Big something? an Amazon something, but there's a purple, a green and a white conditioning bar, and they have done absolutely nothing for my hair. I have used them, I have put a lot of product, a very small amount of product, and every time my hair just comes out feeling like straw. This one did exactly the same, but as you can see I have bought multiple, and the reason I bought multiple is because I'm terrified that Lush are going to stop doing it and I won't be able to get it again. This product is great if you are like me and you don't like doing a lot to your hair. So when my hair was long, I used this product from the nape of my neck down and rinsed it out and left it alone. Once I'd kind of patted it dry with a towel or put it up in a turban so it was kind of touch dry and wasn't dripping everywhere, I would leave it alone. I wouldn't brush it, I wouldn't comb it, I wouldn't touch it, I would just let it dry. And this took me about 4 attempts of using the product to actually work out that if you brushed your hair whilst the product was in it, it was awful. It would rip my hair out, it was terrible. And on the last go, I went, I'm not going to brush it, I'm just going to leave it alone. So I did, and as it dried, all the knots literally fell out, to the point where I could put my hands through it and do that when it was almost dry, and I wouldn't have hair caught around my rings. It would literally just absolutely brilliant, as long as you are not in a rush. If you are in a rush and you need to hair dry your hair, don't put a brush near it. So if you are someone who has to style your hair and straighten it with a brush whilst you're hair drying it, you have to make sure your hair is almost dry before you can do that, or this product won't work. It will just end up with your hair feeling like straw, matted, horrible, being pulled out. But if you have the time to just let your hair dry naturally and leave it alone, that conditioner is amazing. Now, the reason why I like it so much is because I am one of these people who doesn't like to put heat on my hair particularly. So I would rather let my hair dry naturally than put a hairdryer through it. Since having it shorter, if I'm at home, again, I'll just let it do its thing. If I'm going to work and I'm in a rush, then I will dry the front, rough dry the back and leave it alone, and then straighten my fringe, because otherwise this does ringlets and it looks silly. But in general, I don't hair dry my hair. Maybe once a fortnight, if I'm going out, I will hair dry it. But if I can let it dry naturally, then I will. And it's only when it's so hot at night at the moment that I will wash it and have to dry it in the morning to go to work, which I'm only going in one in 3 weeks at the moment anyway. So you're talking twice in 3 weeks. The rest of the time, I will leave it. If it's not so hot at night, so during the winter, if I shower before I go to bed, I will just let it dry naturally. I will stay up until it's kind of half dry, put a towel on my pillow and go to sleep, because I don't like the excess heat through my hair. I find heat can be quite damaging. So my advice to anyone who wants to keep their hair nice is let your hair dry naturally, because it will take in its own moisture, and like I said with my skin video, your skin, your hair will take in what moisture it needs, and then it will let the rest dry off. So towel drying, all that sort of stuff, putting it up in a turban, getting the excess moisture out, and then letting it dry naturally is probably the best thing you can do. Plus, if you have textured hair, then you're not forcing it straight, or you're not forcing it curly, or you're not forcing a brush through it in a fragile state, which is when it's wet. So I find that also keeps the strength in the hair. So especially if you are one who, I mean, I've started bleaching my hair on this bit, but it's still strong, it's not stretchy, it's not, you know, it's got the normal amount of elasticity it would normally have, but it's not stringy in any way. So heat drying I try to stay away from. When it comes to styling, again, I don't use a lot of products. Very rarely do I put a product in my hair. Now, again, the beauty industry will tell you, and hairdressers will tell you, you must put straightening serum and heat protection and all this all over your hair. And the science in my head doesn't get it. Why would I, if I was going out, so I've got to get ready, I've got 25 minutes to get ready, slap some makeup on, do my hair. At that point, I'm going to need to hair dry my hair. So I'm going to get a vent comb or a vent brush, and I'm going to dry my hair into the style I need it to be. Why would I then get a wet product and spray it all over my hair to then put excessive heat through the hair? Because all you're going to do is fry it, whether it's internally, externally, or anything else. If you put excessive heat over already dry hair, all you're doing is heating the follicles to make the style. But if you're using heat spray, which is wet and makes the hair damp, to then put 200-degree heat over the top, doesn't make any sense to me, personally. There probably is a science to it, but for me, I don't see the point of drying my hair to make it wet again or damp to put excessive heat on that's hotter than my hairdryer. So I don't bother. I don't use heat spray, I don't use anything, no protection sprays, and you will see my hair is not damaged. Now this bit is a little damaged here at the very, very front, and I will tell you why, or at least why it looks a bit damaged, is because this morning I got it wet by accident when I was brushing my teeth, and I forgot when it came to just straightening these bits and my fringe this morning, and it sizzled. But it's not damaged, it's not broken off, it just looks a bit dry. My mistake, I don't normally do that. So yeah, I don't use products, I don't use heat defense spray, I don't use styling spray, I don't use mousse, I don't use anything particularly in my hair that I feel is going to be exacerbated by putting heat near it. Once I styled my hair, unless I am wearing a fascinator, which means that I have to keep a certain part of my hair either back combed to keep the clip in place, or I need to plait a bit to put clips in place and then keep it rigid, I won't use hairspray particularly. Maybe a little bit on my fringe if I'm going somewhere where I know I'm going to get hot, because if I get hot under here, my fringe is going to curl, and if I don't want it to curl, I need to spray it. I tend to spray it on the underside, brush it down, and then spray it on the front and leave it. But that's probably it, other than this one. Oh no, I have a sea salt spray that I occasionally use just to give it a bit of texture. Normally when my hair's dirty anyway, so it's got a little bit of oil through it, so it's a bit like it is today, I might put a bit of sea salt spray in it if I wanted a bit of texture. I just leave it to do its own thing. But the only other product I have is this one, and this is a styling wax or a styling cream, again by Lush, so it's no masses of harsh chemicals, and this is a product called Dirty, and it smells really nice. As you can see, I've hardly used it, so if I wanted to give this a bit more something style through the back, or if my layers were more prominent, then a little bit of that rubbed into my hands and just run it through and leave it alone. But I don't use lots of hairsprays, I don't use mousse to style my hair. And again, obviously this is me. If you have hair that needs, If you have really curly hair that needs a mousse to tame it when it's wet, then, you know, that's what you need for your hair. For me personally, I don't think I need all these products through my hair. I've actually had 3 hairdressers, probably over the last 25 years, say to me that my hair is probably the best conditioned hair they've had through their chair. And they'll say to me, what do you use? And I go, nothing. And they're like, yeah, but what, like, heat styling products do you? I don't. But you must use some sort of protection on it. I'm like, no, I don't, because I don't need it. I think if we're putting chemicals into our hair or onto our bodies, and then I just don't, for me, I don't see it. So, I mean, if you are using a lot of hairspray and you need to use a lot of hairspray for the styles that you want your hair in, that's fine, that's for you. I just tend to leave my hair to do its natural thing. I'm not one for big styles particularly. I don't mohawk my hair, or I may spray through the back if I need some lift. But that's only if I'm going out, which is quite rare. So that's kind of it. My hair care is pretty boring. I do have a podcast, however, which you probably all know about, and my podcast has been lacking, and I'm really sorry. There's been some stuff going on, that's all I'm going to say. So my head is not in a podcast space at the moment. So if you have been listening to my podcast, I'm really sorry that they've stopped again. I've got some stuff coming up, but it's probably going to be end of September now. If I get an August one out, I'll try. But I've got one coming up anyway, which will be a bit more chatty than the others have been. But yeah, I've just not been in the headspace to do it. But if you listen to my Bikini Bodies one, and it is on this channel as well, towards the end I do give you a kind of self recipe for protecting your hair in the sun. It's something I have used, it's something I've used when my hair was very, very long, and it helped keep its condition. I will link the podcast that it's in below. Like I said, it's on Spotify, it's on Apple, it's on Anchor, it's on various other platforms, I believe, as well. And I will link the video as well, that's kind of just the words. There's no particular video to watch. Below as well. So if you have long hair, or even for your kids, but it's basically a concoction of sunscreen, water, conditioner and hair oil that you can put into a spray bottle and spray your hair if you're going to the beach or going excessively swimming, going out in the sun, and it will protect your hair. Go have a look, I'll link it. But that's it really. If you have got any hair questions, then obviously I've done my hair journey, so I have gone from long to very, very short. If you've got any questions on, I don't know, styling or what I do with it, you probably know already, to be honest. Or if you have any questions on certain products and if I can help, I don't know if I'm any good at answering hair questions, but I'll give it a go. But yeah, chuck me a question down below if you have any. The other thing I will say as well is, if you are somebody who struggles with growing your hair, or you get a lot of breakage, I would recommend daily biotin. It's a product that we naturally produce, but it helps with nails and hair. Now, I haven't taken it for a while, and the reason I haven't taken it is because my hair grows at a ridiculous rate anyway, and I'm trying to stop it growing quite so quickly at the moment. But yeah, that is definitely worth looking into, is biotin. You can get it on Amazon and you can get it quite cheap. I think 10,000 milligrams a day is the most you should take, but it will help strengthen your hair, especially as we get older. I know it's something that people take during pregnancy. I know that my bestie took it as well when her hair grew back after chemo. So it's something that will help strengthen your hair naturally. So that's all I would recommend as far as supplements go. Anything else that says we will grow your hair if you do this and blah blah, prove it. because I think it's a load of tosh. I think the more chemicals we put into our body, the more harm we do, and I think the more chemicals we put onto our skin and the more chemicals we put into our hair, the more harm it does. Natural is the way to go. Just leave it alone. That's all I can say. Leave it alone. Make sure you're not over brushing it. Don't brush your hair. Top tips: plenty of water. Plenty of water. Let your hair dry naturally if you can. Best way for it to dry is naturally. Soft towels. I have heard people say use t-shirts. Actually, it doesn't make a difference if you use a t-shirt or use a cotton towel. It's still fabric, it's still cotton, but just make sure it's a nice absorbent towel or whatever you're using to wring the hair out. Don't rub the hair too much, especially if your hair is curly. Don't over product it, because it will just weigh it down, and if you are somebody who needs to do specific styles, or you know, you like mohawks and deathhawks, give your hair a break every now and again. Let it do its own thing. Have a couple of days where you don't, you know, you're not going out and no one's going to see you, so you don't have to style it. Just let it have a day to itself. Be careful if you do use heat protectant sprays. I don't believe in them personally. And just, you know, make sure you're not using a harsh brush, and don't brush your hair when it is wet. Please, please, please use, if you need to brush your hair when it is wet for whatever reason, please use a wide tooth comb very, very gently, and start from the bottom and work to the roots, so you're getting rid of the tangles and you're not pulling the roots down into a tangled mess at the bottom. Other than that, all I can say is the natural route, for me personally, has been the best thing I've ever done with my hair. The more I leave it alone, the better. And I have bleached my hair, I have coloured my hair, I've done everything you could possibly imagine with my hair. And here I am at nearly 44 with quite a good thick head of hair and in really good condition. Yeah, that's all really I can say. Ask me any questions down below if you've got any tips on, not tips or questions on dyeing or bleaching. I'm happy to answer those. I just didn't want to put it into this video and make it really, really long. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to go away. I don't know what my next video is going to be about. I do need to do one on my gallery wall. I know I've been promising a lookbook for the summer, so I've got a few things coming up. I need to do a lookbook for the summer. I don't know if it's still relevant. The weather's not great, but I will try and do something. It just depends on timing and everything else at the moment, and the Griffin being available to help me. I will also be doing a maternity goth. Now, I'm not going to buy a load of stuff and then send it back just to do a video, but I have found some really good items that can be used that are maternity, that are goth, and some that aren't, that could still be used. So I will try and do that one as well. And yeah, my gallery wall, it's about time I did that video. So yeah, I will try and get another couple of videos done over the next couple of weeks, and I hope you've been enjoying what's been going on so far. Yes, thank you, by the way, for my video that I thought could be quite controversial a few weeks ago. Thank you for all your fab comments. I'm glad that I wasn't stepping into a line that I didn't want to cross. But I feel there were some things that needed to be said, and I was not going to shy away from them. And I'm really glad that you guys, that I know you the way I think you do, that you understood where I was coming from and actually pretty much feel the same as I do. So if you haven't seen that video and you don't know what I'm talking about, that was the video that went out actually the day I'm filming this, so it went out on the 8th of August, and that is my Does It Always Have to Be Goth video. Like I said, it could have gone one of two ways. I'm glad it went the better way. And yeah, I will see you all again soon. So I'm going to go away now because I'm starting to waffle. As per usual, I've got a Kitty Bubble here. I'm going to see if Kitty Bubble come and say hi. Will you come and say hi? There she is. No, you're not going to say hi. All right. No, she's not playing. I'm going to go away. I will see you all again very, very soon, and you know it. Mwah! Just do you.